We just switch it. Oh,
Or I'll switch.
Switch it.
I can do that.
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's start with Nick Hamilton on your left.
Arrow, push here. Because of I think we look short on the Zoom. Just gotta sit up. The table's a little high. Into the mic is crazy.
All right, good morning, ladies. Nick Hamilton, Mike Cashman. Kelsey, this question is for you.
Oh, sorry. I'm like
That's
looking
good.
for it. I couldn't find you. Sorry.
You're good. Two-part question, if I may. One, approaching this season, obviously you're very heavy in film study and, analyzation as far as, how you want your play to be. What are some of the things that you're looking for when you're breaking down film? And also, will you be wearing different pairs of shoes as you are a free agent when it comes to the shoe game?
Yeah, first of all, thanks for being here. Super excited about today and this team, and to be honest, these jerseys, they're sick, right? Film study is obviously an important part of the game. I think, for me personally, I love watching certain players. I love watching Steph. I love watching Jalen Brunson in the off season and just, watching the way they break things down. I know for me at Unrivaled this offseason, a point of growth was two-part. One was finishing in the high paint, not having to get all the way to the rim. And then the second part was defensively, guarding your yard and being that on-ball point of attack. I think that's really important, not just for our team, but for Team USA. And so, I made that a point to do both of those things. As far as the free agency, we'll just have to stay tuned for that.
Let's go second row, Jared.
Hey, Kelsey. Last year during training camp, we kind of talked about how, you coming to LA, you wanted to make a big splash and you wanted to uphold the standard that Kobe set. Kind of looking at it a year later, how do you think, or how would you assess that? And do you have any kind of declarations for this season, considering that there is going to be a lot of veterans on this team?
Overall, I was proud with the growth of, year one to now. It's tough taking a team over with 8 wins and trying to help that along. That was really heavy. And I think that I did the best I could. There were definitely a lot of areas I could have grown in, and I did grow in. And we were right there. We were right on the edge, maybe a game or two, and we're in the playoffs. So I definitely, the playoffs were the goal. Fell a little short, but at the same time, transformation takes time, and it's a process, right? And I think I see that we've had tremendous growth, and obviously bring in players like Arrow, Nneka, Erica Wheeler, and then obviously, you have Cam fully healthy, right? Ray Burrell. I think really our depth and our talent is immense this year, and the mission is very clear from everyone on this team, and it's been clear from the jump in training camp, and I'm very excited about the hunger and the sense of urgency that we have. We want to win now. That's very important to us, and everyone talks about winning and culture in the preseason, but when the ball rolls out, let's see what it's really about, and we have players on our team that are really about it.
First row, right side.
Good morning, ladies. This is Andrea Black with LA Spark Weekly. I have a question for you, most definitely. Excited for the backcourt this season, hands down. For me, what have you guys done to build the chemistry in the backcourt now that we have a juggernaut of a front court too? So how are we balancing that chemistry?
Yeah, I'll take this one. I think the biggest thing is just talking to each other and getting to know each other. I think that's with anything that you do in the work field, honestly, but with basketball, it makes things move a lot quicker when you get to know people. From day one, she's just coming at me asking me all these questions. We got to get that time to get to know each other,
and finding those little pockets of time to actually spend time together as humans and not just on the court.
I've been trying to pop her pimples all week.
No, they're gone. I told you, give them a week.
Yeah.
Second row, please. And then Ashley.
Hi, Versa, Jeremy, LA Times. Ariel, I'm curious, what do you kind of view as the defensive identity of this team, just kind of coming in and picking it up, but at the same time being just a core defender on this team trying to improve on last year?
I think one of our assets right now is our level of communication. It's something that's so exciting to be a part of as a teammate because, like I said, when you communicate at a high level, it moves things a lot faster and you can get through things a lot quicker. But I think that'll be a big part of our identity defensively. As far as me, I just want to bring energy. It's my favorite part of the game. You all know that. So I'm excited to bring that energy to the team.
Row behind Ashton.
Hi, I'm Ashton from Switch Cultures. I have a question for Kelsey. First off, I feel like your goal-setting ability is unmatched. Side note, I remember when you broke the record and you done back-to-back on to count. The whole school shut down to just watch it. Can you talk a little bit about what your next big goals or goal in your career is, and any advice that you can give the younger generation when it comes to goal setting?
Yeah, I love that question. You know, I think for this team, like I said, is to be a contender, right? And you know, I think it's important because it's a level of consistency that you have to have day in and day out. Practices, games you should win, games that maybe you know you're not supposed to win. I think that's what's really impressed me about this team is the professionals and just the level of hunger and consistency throughout training camp. And it's one of the best training camps I've been a part of. So very excited. Individually, yeah, I think I'm going to keep it pretty private this year. Just let my game do the talking. But I think it's very important for all people, to be honest, young and mature, to set goals that are a little bit outside of our reach, because that's really what helps us grow personally. And ultimately, something I've learned along this journey is that goals are really an opportunity for you to grow the character you need to accomplish them.
Let's go across the aisle to Rick Rowe.
Michelle Faircountry, reporter for El Camino College. So this is for both you ladies. When adversity hits, whether it's a tough loss or eternal pressure, what's your personal process for handling challenges in real time?
I think for me, the biggest way for me to overcome adversity and challenges, honestly, is just like to stop and breathe. I feel like a lot of the times when something hard hits, it's so easy to just be like, I need to get out of it. How do I figure it out? And that's honestly something that I learned about myself last season. It's like sometimes you gotta stop and breathe when everything is kind of going around you crazy. And then for me, something that helps is sleep. Like if something get a little too crazy, I'm like, I'm taking that, you know, just to be honest and transparent with you. But for me, those are two things that kind of helps me, not necessarily reset, but like allows me to kind of get my nervous system back down to zero.
Kelsey, do you want
I think she did great. Napping is the key to success.
to say anything? Let's go to Justin in the first row.
Justin Russo with Russo Rights. Kelsey, good to see you again. When we talked last year, primarily about the CBA, you mentioned to me that A, B, and C priorities was the financial aspect that you were looking for the most out of this new CBA. Kind of just curious, when you saw the new CBA come to fruition, kind of what were your first thoughts, especially when it comes to that financial side of things?
So proud coming into the league, and then to be at this point now, and seeing those 7-figure salaries and seeing women get paid at their value is really special. And not to have to go overseas or play in different leagues. You know, the W is the best basketball in the world. And, you know, it's just to be compensated like that, I think it just shows where our league is now. And I think it's just the beginning. You know, I hope that when I'm done playing and, you know, young girls in middle school and high school, when they're in the W, we're looking at 8-figure salaries.
Let's go to the other side of the aisle to Mike Count.
Good morning, ladies. Mike Matthew, Sparks Weekly. This question is for either one of you. just with the talent that you guys now have there in the backcourt, just practicing, like how competitive have they been, and how are they helping you guys grow as you guys push forward towards the season?
I took the last to get
Okay, okay. Extremely competitive. You know, sometimes they mix up the teams. Sometimes they do black versus purple, which is like starting group versus secondary group. And fortunately, Ariel and I have been on the same team for every time. So, but it's still very competitive, let me tell you. And I think something that has, and this is not something you asked, but something I'll add is the rookies and the young players have really impressed me. Their competitiveness. I mean, Tanaya Latson is picking me up 94 feet. Chokehold grabbing me on screens. It's like, this is awesome, I'm just super excited. Chance Gray hit 3 game winners the other day in practice. It just shows you, they're fearless and they're ready for this moment. And I'm just really looking forward to, getting out there and playing in live play because I think they're going to be great for us.
Thanks, Kelsey and Ariel.
Yes, thank you. For sure.
I mean, look, we got coffee over there. This is
I know,
legit.
it's going great.